Hello, hello. Welcome to Money Mondays. We are going to be starting here in just a minute. Looking forward to talking with everybody tonight, showing you some good things about Realtor bios and LinkedIn. So we'll just give everybody a couple seconds to log on here, and I'm going to get a couple screens going for us here as well. All right, everybody. So we are about to begin. So welcome again to Money Mondays. What are we doing today? Well, we are talking all about your Realtor bio. And why the heck would we be doing that? It is because it is kind of that time in the year where it's time to take a look at all our marketing, all of our data, everything out there, our business plans. That's what we're going to be talking about on our next Money Mondays. And there I am. Then what we're going to be doing tonight is focusing on what is your story? What is your value proposition? And what we do a lot of times is we talk so much in a braggy fashion. We don't always relate to the consumer as far as what they're actually going to get when they work with you as a buyer or seller, when they actually become your client. And the other thing that we do is we're not consistent enough in where the message goes. So in other words, we may have a great bio in one location, but remember, the consumer doesn't always go just to one location. They go everywhere. And so if they only find you on Zillow and your Zillow profile doesn't have a bio, or it doesn't have a great bio, or your most updated bio, they're going to miss out on the full version of you. And same way if they go on your Exit Realty bio or anywhere else. So we're going to talk tonight about where it should go. But first, let's talk about what it should look like. We're also going to dive into LinkedIn, jump in there a little bit, and talk about why LinkedIn is a great baseline, because it's easy to cut and paste from LinkedIn to anywhere else, because we've been focusing lately as an office on LinkedIn. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screens. I see there's a couple more people joining us. So if you wouldn't mind muting yourselves on the way in, that way as we get going here and you've got questions later on, we'll be a little bit quicker getting through the actual presentation. This is not a hard one tonight. At least it's not, I should say, it's not hard for me to teach because I've been doing it a long time. I will tell you guys that are at Exit Strategy, I know we may have a guest or two on this evening. I do these bios with you. So if you go through this whole session tonight with me and you go, okay, I've got it, but I want you to look over my bio, or I put together some bullet points. Dina from our office, we just did her bio. And what we did is we always put them in 3 paragraphs. I'm going to talk a little bit back and forth between Dina's bio and mine on LinkedIn. You can always update these bios later. That's the beauty of a bio in general, is that you can always be updating it later. So don't think that today's version is set in stone forever. You're always going to be evolving and growing. Hopefully you'll be adding designations to your resume. Hopefully you'll be adding some sales awards later on to your resume, whether that's from Exit or the local real estate board. And hopefully also you will be adding media to your presentation. So if you look at my bio, which is the About section on LinkedIn, it is a 3-paragraph bio. Now, I'm not expecting every single one of you, and especially if you're new or part-time, to have the ability to start running numbers and talking numbers, because you're new. You don't have those numbers yet. And you also actually want to think as a consumer when you write your bio, because guess what? I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to have to mute somebody. Hold on one second. All right, I think I got it. When you put yourself in the consumer shoes. Do you necessarily want to work with the agent that is all about the numbers and bragging? Or do you want to, hold on, I got to mute somebody else. Guys, please mute yourselves on the way in. Thanks so much. Do you want to have it all about you and in a way that doesn't relate to the consumer? Or do you want to have it in a way that relates to the consumer? So in my first sentence, I really try to start off with something strong towards the consumer. And I wanted to, in mind, reflect my passion. And my passion, I've dedicated my entire adult career to this. And I really believe that what we're doing, we, not just me, but you as well, as a real estate professional, you are empowering lives through real estate. That is my personal tagline. You may have something that you feel so passionate about, but I really wanted that to start strong. And so with Dina, so Dina is a newer agent to us. We wanted to immediately focus on the who, what, when, where, why, how. If you ever took a journalism class in high school or in college, you may remember the who, what, when, where, why, hows of the journalism, the basic journalism questions that a good journalist would ask. I want you to ask yourself that, because remember, a stranger doesn't know you. And this is a relationship business. You want to be relatable. So who's your audience? So if we go back to mine, I know I work with investors, I work with agents. So I wanted to kind of tailor it a little bit more to the general industry. With Dina's being newer to real estate, obviously she couldn't say, well, she's dedicated her entire life to real estate, but she has something special. She was born and raised in Chicago. So she's got a passion there. She knows the city well. You're already setting up right there to know that this is somebody that knows the ins and outs of the city because she lived here. She grew up here. And so we started to talk about that passion. Not everybody's from Chicago. As a matter of fact, a lot of people like myself are transplants. So what is your story? Why are you in real estate? If you are at Exit Strategy, you've got right in the coaching blog. If you look on the guide one, let me close out a couple windows here. Hold on. These people someday, it's just interesting. I have no idea what these messages are. Let me close that out. Let's look at in the coaching blog, guide one. I want to talk to you about your vision. Affirmations, vision, what is your value proposition? So there's some material in there that's not new anymore. That's why we're redoing this class tonight. But I really wanted to focus with you on why are you here? I can't answer that for you. So Dina had to answer that for herself. But as a newer agent or even an experienced agent, a lot of times we run with what we know and we think a consumer wants. But you've got to realize the consumer, if they're newer to the process, they want to be handheld. If they're experienced, they want to know your experience too. The words I would use, and I'm actually going to just kind of say them here, and I think I might even type them in at the top of this, just because you guys are watching the screen right now, I believe. You want to be relatable, but aspirational. What do I mean by that? Relatable, but aspirational. I want you to be able to relate to the consumer, to your audience, whoever your audience is. So if you think you're going to work with a lot of first-time buyers, if you think you're going to work with XYZ, but you want to be relatable to most anybody that reads this bio. So bragging that you only work in the multi-million-dollar bracket, number one, does anybody really only work there? In our local MLS, at least. Number two, if you're only talking to investors, what about a first-time home buyer? Did you leave them out? If you're only talking to buyers, did you leave out sellers? I want you to be relatable to as many people as possible while being your real self, your authentic self. But I also want you to be aspirational. What's something really great that you've done in your life? Is it raising a family? Is it you run marathons? Is it whatever you've got that you are passionate about? In addition to real estate, I want to hear a little bit about it here. So I want to continue on with the example of Dina's. We talked about her passions as a true native Chicagoan, and then we also did some name dropping, not of celebrities like you would think we would name drop. We're name dropping neighborhoods. Why are we doing that? If you are a Chicago or a suburban native, or that you have lived in 2 or 3 communities for a number of years, or you went to a certain school, high school. So we highlighted Dina's high school, her college. Why is that important? Well, 2 reasons. Number one, it's called SEO, search engine optimization. You want to be able to be what? Again, relatable, but aspirational. So people feel a commonality with someone that went to the same school as them. So I'm going to interweave back and forth, as I said, toggle back and forth between LinkedIn and your the example we have here with Dina's. I want to show you this. If you on LinkedIn, so we're talking about the bio, of course, the 3-paragraph bio. I recommend it's always 3 paragraphs, whether you've been in the business 1 day, 12 decades, whatever. But at the top of your LinkedIn bio, if you go into the search bar up here, so see right here in the center of the search bar, and you type in Valparaiso, whatever school you went to. So if it's a high school, if it's a college, so I can go back all the way back to the degree that I never used. And if you click on the university or the high school's name, just like you would an employer, by the way, so we're going to talk about employers here in a second as well, just like you would an employer, you can scroll down and look what it says. People highlights, 1,359 alumni of my school work in Greater Chicago. And by the way, here's all the alumni that are on LinkedIn that graduated the same year as me. So if you went to a big school, you have a lot of people that you could be adding. So if you click on the alumni, there we go. Here's all the people that I'm not yet connected with. This is why I love LinkedIn. You can't do this on Facebook, and you certainly can't do it where? Instagram. So, or TikTok, even though I'm still trying to learn it. So you can go in, connect with people. You can send them a personal note as well. I try to do a couple people a day. I get deals out of LinkedIn. One of the messages I closed was that somebody talking to me about buying some real estate. So you get a lot of spam, just like anywhere else. You get some weird people, you get people that ignore you, but are you growing your database every day? What I love about LinkedIn is if I go in and I, for example, go to one of my contacts and I click on their profile. So once they've connected with you, look what it says right here, their contact information. So look, it's their personal email. Wouldn't that be great if I'm adding them to my database, right? Sometimes it'll have their cell phone number. It'll have some other information. So this is a great way to build your database. But going back to why we're really here mostly, the bio, if your bio doesn't mention where you graduated from school or where you attended, for my friends that did not graduate, I will tell you, I barely graduated law school and it took me some extra time. So if you didn't graduate, that's okay. You know what? Say you attended. We never lie. We do not lie, but we inform of things that you have in common with people. So anything. Are you a member of a charity? Do you donate? Do you run races? Do you collect canned goods? What do you do for charity? What do you do for hobbies that might have in common with people? Do you have a pet that you might have in common with people? Search engine optimization. So I'm going to write this up at the top here. Dina, if you're on, I promise I will erase this in a bit because I think she and I are sharing her bio back and forth. If you are at Exit Strategy, this is what a great 30-minute session can do for you. Send me bullet points or write a rough draft of your 3 paragraphs, and I will with you take the who, what, when, where, why, how, and do this exactly the way we did for Dina. This was Dina's final version from me. So we want to do the SEO and also the LinkedIn bio. Okay, SEO and LinkedIn bio. I'm trying to rhyme tonight. I've had some sun today outside. If you guys were with me in Plainfield at the suburban office, we have a great photo today. We're going to talk a little bit more about media in a second, about bios. We can't put pictures in our bio, but we're going to talk about pictures relating to the bio and some hyperlinks too. But let's go back to these things we would have in common, the name dropping, the who, what, when, where, why, how. If you've got kids, people relate. If you don't have kids, like I don't, maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to put that in there right now, but pets, kids, it's kind of like social media. We say babies, puppies, everybody loves animals, things that you have in common with people. Charity, we talked about. Past jobs, let's go over that. Mine, obviously, this is all I've ever done. I have no other marketable skills. So, please be well with me because this is all I do. But most people, real estate is not their first career. Okay. So as a second career or third career, whatever, what did you do in your past career that's a relatable skill to this one? So with Dina, she was actually a long time. I'm going to highlight this so you can see it. She dedicated over 34 years of service to the city of Chicago as an accountant responsible for more than $2 billion of assets, including the Skyway and city's airports. Now, she was part of a team, of course, that did it, but she was one of the people that did that. What did you do at your old job? Did you manage something? Did you do something well? Was it a skill? Was it an award? Or was it people? Was it people? So we have someone that was in the medical field, but like on a staff, a medical team, like a nurse's aide. And I said, well, what was your favorite part of that job? And this is the type of stuff we do if you're at Exit Strategy in the 30-minute sessions. One of our coaching sessions, we'll get the whole thing done. I'm going to ask you some questions. I love doing these also because I get to know a little bit more about you guys. But this other example, not Dina, they said, well, I am, I was a nurse's aide and I really loved the people. So she has a love for people. Someone else, won't mention their name, they said they had a terrible experience with their realtor. And that's what pushed them into real estate. Is I don't want anybody else to suffer with what I went through. Kind of the same way for you guys with my coaching program at Exit. I'm like, I don't want anyone else to suffer as a realtor like I did, because I did terrible for a long time until I figured it out. So if your passion is you already were an investor and loved it, you want to share that with others, great. If you bought a house and it wasn't a great experience, that could be it. Maybe it's a transferable skill, but I like mentioning what else you've been a part of in your life. And you know what? If real estate wasn't your first career, that's the majority of realtors. This was not their first career. I don't know too many people that popped out of the womb saying, I want to be a realtor. I did not. Thought I wanted to be a broadcast journalist and then a lawyer. So I have 2 useless degrees. So guys, do not feel weird if you are new to real estate and going, well, this is my 3rd or 4th career. Do I put them all in the bio? You don't put them all in. Figure out if there's anything transferable or relatable from those other jobs. And if you are, let's talk to the experienced people. I see Cheryl's on. I'm going to pop on and I want to see who else is on here so I can. Chris, you've been in the business a long time. We've got Natasha, Victoria, you've got some people that have titles within the industry, awards. I would like you to start your first paragraph with what's your passion? What's the consumer going to get out of it? Okay, so that should be paragraph 1. What's the consumer going to get out of it? Paragraph 2 is a little bit more of the meat and potatoes about you. And by the way, if you're really struggling with this, or if you are brand new and you're at our office, let's go back into the coaching blog for a second. Guide 1. And then under the create a powerful realtor bio, there is conversation also about the office bio. All right, the office bio. So let me show you that. So that is in guide 1, the top post. We're going to keep that post, even though this is a replacement video for the old stuff. We're going to put this right in here with this create a powerful realtor bio. And that is the bio, cut and paste right there. So if you're struggling, it's a 3-paragraph bio of the whole company. You can put some of that in there as filler. But remember, people are working with you. They're working with you. They're working with Dina in this example. They're not working with Exit as much as they're working with you. So we did name drop, number drop. Let's call it number drop for Dina about Exit. And then we talked about her church. We've already mentioned about that. We dove into her past life as an accountant. And then we've talked about some non-meaty things, some more subjective things. And that is relationships. Again, going back to what the consumer is going to get, warm the conversation up. I've looked at my bio. I'm actually in the process of kind of rethinking mine a little bit because mine is very numbery and braggy. I want to back mine up because I read Dina's when we were done. I'm like, I really want to work with you. Like, not even just as an agent. I want to get to know you. That's the type of bio you want. So we ended Dina's. We did name drop a little bit about the family. We talked about neighborhoods. So if you are, for example, I'm not going to name drop my neighborhood in terms of where it is, but I'm president of my condo board. I think that should be in my next version of my bio. I've been on my condo board for years. I understand condo buildings. If you're going to number drop or title drop, guess what I want you to do? Explain why that's relevant. If you can't explain why it's relevant to them, they're not going to care that you're number 1 or number 2 or you are in the top 10. So that is something that I think is really important. If you're gonna number drop, let's put this at the top. It's going to be our informal outline tonight. If you're going to number drop, I can't think of any reason why. Justification drop, justify it. Why, or explain why that's relevant. Why is that relevant to the reader? Why would a reader care? Why would they care that you're number one? Because it shows you have a proficiency in the industry, or that you have a designation. So let's talk about designations for a second. I have a whole podcast that's coming out on designations. I list my top favorites. I do love designations even more than bragging about numbers, because guess what? Designations show, realtor designations show that you've got some advanced level of proficiency. But if you've got questions on which designations to take, if that's kind of the next step for you in your business, schedule a one-on-one or a small group, or listen to the podcast when it comes out this week, because I do relate to certain ones more than others, speaking of relatability. So let's go back and kind of wrap up on Dina's, and then I want to walk you through where this bio should go. So at the end, we really wanted to tie this into everybody. So whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or looking to sell your current property to downsize / upgrade or relocate, Dina is a secure, seasoned choice for wealth building. And you'll realize that ties into, in paragraph 2, understanding financial data and providing a full picture of a property's investment potential, even for a first-time home buyer, is a vital differential. Differentiate yourself. Stand out from the crowd of realtors, this crowded room of realtors that we are all in. So that is something that you want to differentiate. Oh, one more note. I don't think I've ever expressed this before, but I write these in the third party. If that doesn't interest you, that's okay. Why do I write them in the third party? I want this to be an elevator speech, but an elevator speech that could be also if you are introduced in a room. If you were introduced in a room, how would you like to be introduced? Not an obituary. I want what would people say? What would you want said? Would you want 2 sentences? She's a realtor. He's a realtor. He's great. He's number one. Who cares? What is the audience going to relate to? This is an elevator speech that someone else would say about you if introducing you in a room. So think of this. If you were going to be introduced to speak at a home buyer or a home seller seminar, or you were going to be giving a TED talk, what would you want said about you by the person doing the introduction of you? And giving this much information, this is what I have people cut and paste. So let's jump from Dina's. We wrapped up, said contact her today, into what we want people to say in a third party, how we're going to visualize that. But I do want to make 2 notes real quick. First note is that something that I want you to consider adding, depending on the venue, we're going to talk about the venue in a second, is your digital business card. I think everyone here is at exit at this point. I'm not sure. Well, we're up to 12 now. If you're not at exit, you don't have the digital business card, but you have the digital business card, and maybe you've got some hyperlinks. So I do some hyperlinks depending on the venue. And when I say venue, it is what website or etc. this is going to be on. All right. So digital business card, hyperlinks to digital buyer seller presentations, or if you do a blog or something else like that. But the digital business card's a catch-all. That's a catch-all. So I really would like to see at the bottom of these, don't put it till the bottom. If you wanted to say, contact her today, text LIBERT or whatever Dina says, 285377, then of course they get your digital business card. If you put things on social media in a non-bio, so in a post, if you said, please allow me to reintroduce myself. So let's talk about that for a second. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. This is a great moment in the business, maybe not with interest rates, but this is a great moment in the business to take a pause, because your buyer traffic may have slowed. Your showings on your listings may have slowed. The kids are now officially out of school, at least in the city of Chicago. So what is going on, it's a great time to press the pause button and say, I am almost halfway through the year. Now, some of you guys that will be watching this later, maybe you'll be watching it much later and say, well, it's not halfway through the year. There's never a bad time to pause and look at your marketing, look at your overall vision. But I want you to think about also in all of this, what exactly not only is your message, but what is your overall image? All right. What is your overall image? And so in this, as we say, okay, I'm going to go through here, I'm going to put my contact information. Where's this going to go? Your overall image. Let's jump into LinkedIn. I want you to have the same picture on every single social media profile you have. So if you go to my Facebook, you see that fat little orange face with the same, let's go to my Facebook, same stuff, same person, all right? I don't have it yet on my Facebook business page because I never am on that stupid thing, but do you see that same face, same suit, same face, same suit? Why is that? It is brand recognition or facial recognition. Think of your iPhone or Android facial recognition software. It works like that in your brain too. People see the same thing over and over again. If they see you with blonde hair and then orange hair and then red hair and brown hair and 18 different outfits, as they maybe look at you across other social media, think about that. Amanda, by the way, can make great banners for you. So I am going to go to this tired old business page of mine, and I'm going to show you what Amanda can do as a banner. Look at this nice banner she can do. She can do banners for your Facebook business page, for your Facebook regular page. So for a while I had that as my Facebook regular page because that's where people are. They're not on the business page. She can do it for your LinkedIn, even though I switched mine out. I had a LinkedIn cover with what? It's got my text code. It's got my one number. It's got my one email, and then I'm all on the same social media everywhere. So that is a consistent message. And again, everywhere else except that one bad example, I've got the same headshot everywhere. If you're at Exit Strategy and you've missed the news the last few days, we will be having free Realtor headshots the next week on Monday and Tuesday. If you're watching this later or you're not at Exit, sorry, no free headshots for you. But free headshots, great time at any of the three offices to say, I want a little bit of branding refresh. That's why we pay Amanda to be our graphic designer. So you can have stuff in the background that looks good. Your YouTube channel. Let's talk about video for a second. Your YouTube channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, I've got an Amanda banner at the top of it. So that is something that over time, I really want you to expand your reach and think about doing this kind of stuff, doing a YouTube channel. But we're not on a video today. We're on the simple stuff. We're on your bio. So let's get back into the LinkedIn example. And I want you to go into the top of it again one more time. And we talked about how you can keep your picture consistent. The top, this little thing. See this little thing that I'm highlighting right here? There's an edit button over here, just like there's an edit button for the picture. There's a little pencil. That is where you are going to want to change that to a headline. Is it a slogan? Is it your title? A little bit of both. So that's where I put that. That is a nice headline when people are first going to the page. But do not forget on LinkedIn that you want to also fill out every section you possibly can. Now, I have the benefit that one of my best friends worked for many years at LinkedIn. So he's very familiar with the platform. And he really did coach me through a couple things. So that's why I'm passing that on to you guys. And I can further walk you through it individually if you need to. But the About Me page is, the About Me is your bio, which we just talked about. We just showed you what the 3-paragraph bio should look like. But beyond that, you want to go into your experience. You want to make sure that you've got your Exit Strategy Realty bio, or your Exit Strategy Realty connection. So that is the Exit, it's EXIT, capital letters, Strategy Realty. There's a very old page from before when I owned it. That is a old site that is, it links to someone that doesn't even work here anymore. I think it's down at this point, but just remember ours is capitalized Exit Strategy Realty, capital EXIT. You want to make sure that if other companies you've worked with, who knows where people are looking for you from. Education, big deal. Put in all your education, because again, I showed you how you can go in then and click at the top in the search bar and find all the other people who went to that school. Don't be shy. Put your graduation date, whether you're afraid you're too young or too seasoned, doesn't matter, because people want to be relatable with you and a commonality there. Same way with if you've got a different career that you were in earlier, put those companies, because guess what? I think other people from those companies may be looking for other people at those companies. And if you're sitting there putting it in here that you were at Caterpillar for many years and you won some awards there, did something great, or we're proud of your work, and then it's not in your experience. And again, also when you go in to search for people at that former employer, because you've got that commonality with them and that they can't see that you worked there. They may not read the whole bio, but they'll gloss through the experience. So make sure that stuff is accurate. Great to have as many of your licenses and certifications as possible. I've got a few I need to add there. Volunteering, again, commonality and aspirational. Even if people are not yet charitable, they want to be. They want to be. Get some recommendations. I am more than happy to recommend you. So send me a recommendation request, and interest, you can do that as well. That's LinkedIn. Remember, if you are at Exit Strategy, you also have the Room View, ROOMVU. You get one free account through us with custom content for Exit Strategy. So look what this looks like. I did not do this. I didn't make the graphic. I don't have time for that. And I didn't even have to give it to Amanda. It's done for me, and it's done for you if you set up Room View through your account with the office. Email Laura if you don't have that set up yet. Once you have it set up, it is plug and play. Look at all this content that comes out. They make videos. I got to tell you, it was funny yesterday. I'm like, oh man, I forgot to post anything for Father's Day. Whoops. Amanda did a great graphic. I didn't use it accidentally, although I shared it with everybody else. I had one done for me though, right here. And they let you at RoomView connect with one account. Please use LinkedIn, because then also you can share and steal some of that content and repost it elsewhere without paying for a premium account with those guys. So I have that relationship. I'm very happy with RoomView, and that custom content comes to you. Sign up with Laura if you're with us and don't have that. So that is the basics. Where else should this bio go? That bio should also go where? Your Exit Realty site. So I'm going to show you a couple different places that should go. So if you go to exitrealty.com and you sign in, that should absolutely be in your bio spot there. So let me show you where that lives. And guys, if you're chatting in the chat box, I will let you know that it's a little hard to answer questions from that until the end. So I will look at that later, but I will look at it. So if you go into my profile at the top, so if you see I was on the top right-hand side, and then I clicked on my profile, and then where it says, see all these different things that you can do? Public profile, bio. You see that? Public profile, bio. Now, this is the other thing I want to talk to you about. See where this little button is that says insert link? You can, on certain places, like the Exit Realty corporate page, add in hyperlinks. So if you've got, like I have a podcast series, if you're with Exit, have the buyer and seller presentations. If you're with Exit Strategy, you have the Zenlist link. You have all kinds of cool links. If you need an example of what links to add, if you have a bio, go to my link tree, which is just teamlibert.com. I have a whole, by the way, video from another Money Mondays on Linktree, because I love Linktree. So I've got a bunch of different links up there. There's my digital buyer presentation, digital seller presentation. You guys all have those. Let's see what else. I've got training events. I've got a landing page from Wise Agent. We'll be talking more about them later this week in person. All different kinds of links on there. Think about if you've got a link to something else that you'd like to put in. But again, as a baseline, you have your buyer's agent profile, your buyer's digital buyer's presentation, digital seller's presentation, and think from there. And remember, you also have the text message code, which does not require a hyperlink. So a hyperlink, again, goes there. That's insert or edit link. And then if you need to remove the link later, but that's not on every site. So don't think you are going to have to do that everywhere. And if that's too techy for right now, that is just on certain websites. Where else should it go on? Zillow. Do you have a Zillow profile? Man, I hope you do. If you don't, it is time to immediately set one up. It is free. Don't let the word Premier Agent scare you, because guess what? Here's the reality, guys. Zillow is #1 in traffic. I don't pay for Zillow leads. I don't believe in Zillow leads for myself. I don't need them because I'm a core training agent that really focuses on relationships. That's hopefully why a lot of you are here. If you pay for Zillow, no shade to you. I hope you are making lots of money with it and good return on investment. Some are. I have in the past, way in the past, but I have. It worked, but it was hard work. For the rest of us, you still want to have a Zillow profile. This may be very basic to some of you, but for some of you not. So I'm going to put that in the chat link. Oh, good. I'm glad you copied it. Your room view, Natasha. Thank you. And Dina, I'm glad that you were okay with me sharing this as an example, but I know you're in the process of posting that everywhere. So guys, look at this. There's the link to create a Zillow real estate agent profile. I'm assuming that you, hopefully, if you're experienced, already have one, but I've been shocked when I find out you don't, or that it says a company that no longer is in existence because you haven't looked at the bio in years. So let's review. We want it on LinkedIn. We want it on Zillow. We want it on, I put it on your Facebook. If you could squeeze it on there, at least a reduced version of it. I would put it on your YouTube channel. If you've got a YouTube channel, there's an about section. There's an about section on your YouTube channel. And does that look familiar? If it requires, if there's a social media piece, like Instagram doesn't allow very much room, at the very least, I want to say Chicago or Chicagoland or suburbs of Chicago, real estate agent. Remember, not everybody uses the word realtor right. Some people don't pronounce it right. Realtor, not realtor. I've even seen realtor spell it wrong. It's R-E-A-L-T-O-R. But I digress. If it needs to be shortened, shorten it to the best parts of your bio. You can cut out a little bit of the fluff. For everywhere else, please keep it the full 3 paragraphs. It reads like a wonderful narrative and people get to know you better. But places like YouTube, oh, everyone, there's somewhere else that we've forgotten about, your MLS. So anytime that you're going on any site that you are looking to send information out from, so if you are on Redfin as a partner agent, which we've got a training on that, OpCity we have at our office, anything like that, if you're sending information from there, if there's a bio spot, make sure you've got the right information right there. So if you go into your settings, see where it says my settings? Right down here. So I went into, logged into my MLS. It's for everybody in MRAD, which is everybody on this training tonight, I think. Where does it say modify my resume and bio? So what conveniently there, they have it set up for 3. Well, now they put 4 paragraphs in there, but that is a really nice way. So I did it as an intro, education, accolades, vision, and direction. You can do it as my background, my passion for real estate, charity and community as your next one, whatever you want to do with that as, and break that down to the 3 paragraphs. So it is even on your MLS profile, which makes sure that anything else, anywhere else you're sending stuff out from Cloud CMA, if you're using a different CMA product, there's not as much room. That's why, another reason why I love Cloud CMA, but that's a story for another time. I want to talk to you about one more thing, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. Google yourself. When was the last time you Googled yourself? Hopefully nothing bad comes up. I always laugh because I had someone do theirs as a example. We pulled theirs up and they hadn't Googled themselves in a while, and there was a surprise. You do want to Google yourself. You want to know, first of all, are there bad reviews somewhere? Did something pop up? Mostly you want to see where the heck does people, where's the bio? So, there it is on Exit Realty, dedicated his entire adult life. LinkedIn, dedicated his entire life. Another website, another website, Realtor.com. I leave them out, but they're so synonymous with me with Zillow because those are the two top engines. Realtor.com, same deal. Top right-hand side on all of the things, they have a little setting button. You go into settings and then there's a bio page. All right. So there's my YouTube, there's the Zillow. So that's where I pop up first. You may be on other websites. And if you are, make sure they're all the same. So I've got that SoundCloud channel where I put all my podcasts. Guess what? It's right there. There is, there's Zenlist. So you figure out where you're popping up first. And if you don't pop up anywhere, it's probably because you don't have a bio up yet. If you have a common name, so I have a pretty unusual name, common name, put Exit Realty or Exit Strategy Realty or Realtor or Chicago Realtor, something like that, and figure out, are there other sites that you pop up on that maybe there is something you need to change? So pretty, over and over and over again, pretty much the same stuff. So good. All right. Notice, by the way, that videos keep popping up higher and higher in Google search results. Do you know why that is? Because Google owns YouTube and there's a fight for video. But video is not our thing tonight. We will talk about video and video bios another day. For this evening, I want to close with questions from you. Do you guys have any questions for me this evening? I'll go back to my bio.
I have one, Nick.
Yes.
All right. So I was actually just putting together my bio. So how can I just send that to you and maybe you can take a look at it and give me your thoughts on what you think?
Yes. So exactly like we said earlier, and I'm going to use Dina one more time as an example. Thank you, ma'am, for letting me do that. Just send me an email with your bio. Put bio in the subject line if you want to make it easier for us to both find. I love it when they can be in any format, but I like it if it's editable. So Microsoft Word or Google Doc is the best. Here's why. I'm going to, in our half-hour coaching session together, if you just send it to me and you want me to read over it, I'm probably going to have changes for you and you may not love them. So I think a coaching session would be best. I am more than willing to spend the half hour with you because I think we actually both get stuff out of it. Dina and I, at the end of that, I'm like, this is a cool chick. I want to hang out with Dina more. So that's the type of, we're going to build a little bit of a rapport between us. And then also I'm going to live edit it and then share it back to you so that you can, maybe you want to further tweak it later, or maybe you didn't like something that I did and you don't want to tell me. So you can then further do it later on your own, but a half-hour coaching session. And so if anybody's new, you just go to teamlibert.com and then you click on schedule time with Nick, and all my coaching sessions are a half hour. So just select a half-hour time block. There are always ones available within a week or less. Most of the time, it's like the next day, there's at least one available. So the bio for you, if you want to just do bullet points. Now, Dina did a full 3 paragraphs. She'd watched the video, which I really appreciate. This video is actually going to replace the old one because the old one is 3 years old. And I literally listened to the whole 40 minutes of me rambling on it. And I'm like, I want to say that different. This is new technology since then, like hyperlinks, the text codes. So I may be freshening up some other stuff too. But for you guys, you can do it as bullet points if you want to, but I'd prefer you go ahead and do your actual 3 paragraphs. But I like the opportunity to talk to you through it because Dina and I asked her questions because she talked about how much she loved Chicago and she'd been here her whole life. And my first question was, where'd you live? Who, what, when, where, why, how? And that's when we started to talk about neighborhoods. And like, oh man, these are neighborhoods that not a lot of realtors talk about. I want to talk about your neighborhoods because you've been in them multiple times. So it's a really cool conversation. That is the long version of the answer to your question. Any other questions? Yeah, you're welcome. Looking forward to it. If there are no other questions, at least for public, I'm going to bold our big points tonight. Relatable, but aspirational. 3 paragraphs. SEO and LinkedIn, that's your focus. SEO and LinkedIn, search engine optimization. That's why we're name dropping where you've worked, what you've done, where you went to school, charities you're involved in, personal fun things, neighborhoods, etc. Explain if your number drop, why it's relevant to the reader. Use your digital business card. That can be on any website because that is just literally saying text your whatever your digital business card code is. Mine is Libert. Text Libert 285377 to connect with me now. That's the script that I use. You can also on certain websites use hyperlinks. But remember then, if you're cutting and pasting this bio from one to another, probably I want you to start with LinkedIn, and then you can expand and do the hyperlinks in another one if there's one that's needed. Because if you don't do it that way, what's going to happen is you're cutting and pasting that hyperlink that doesn't work on the rest of the stuff, and you need to go back and edit that. So start with LinkedIn because I don't believe it allows hyperlinks. And then that way you can cut and paste that and add the hyperlinks on the rare website that does allow them. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Chris Thomas, appreciate the comment. And I appreciate you, sir. It is a good refresher because it was a good refresher for me that some of my content is getting older, just like the face of your coach. And so I'm going to be refreshing my content and videos, just like refresh my face. Talk to you guys later. Have a great night. This will be up on YouTube shortly. Bye-bye.